Hey, welcome back. It's a Thirsty Thursday edition of Liquid Lunch. We are just kicking off hour two. And we are spanning the globe every single day here on Liquid Lunch. We're talking about the markets, we're talking about news, politics, cryptocurrency. We mix it up with a Democrat and a Republican. But we really like to bring on people who get things done, doers. People I say they know where the rubber meets the road. Joining us today, a one-man wrecking machine, Cory Windelspecht joins us.
Hey,
how are you, man?
Thanks for coming in.
For
I appreciate it. Good to see you guys.
Liquid
Appreciate
lunch.
it.
So, you may remember going back, there was this big issue here in New York, New Jersey area that the Holland Tunnel, they put up their Christmas decorations and it says Holland Tunnel, and they put the Christmas tree over the end. And it looked ridiculous, and it was like a perfect fit for the A. There you go.
You can see it right there.
So they have.
So the wreath is over the O, which looks good. And the Holland Tunnel, for people watching around the country, connects New York to New Jersey.
And
which is one of the reasons
rocket scientist over there said, "Hey, let's not make the tree a little fatter." And there's Cory in front of the original Holland Tunnel, and he was so disgusted by this, right? That you took matters into your own hands.
It bothered me for years. It was one of those things that I passed year after year after year, and I started posting on social media, and it slowly took like a life of its own, and then last year just blew up in terms of what I never could have expected it to go as big as it did. I mean, it was world news. I have a friend stationed in Germany who saw me on German TV, which was like mind-boggling to me. Something so stupid could actually get that far away.
So you launched this petition.
Yes.
And what happened? Was there a happy ending?
There was a happy ending with a long fight before the happy ending.
So tell us what happened.
Ew.
So yeah,
That was a terrible way to get to the happy ending. It didn't quite go down that way for Robert Kraft now, did it? No, I'm just saying. This is a heavy
things
fight.
can happen. I'll start off with a petition that really went viral, and then from there, one by one, the news companies started picking it up, and then little by little, the New York Post ended up putting in the second page of the Post that day. It actually would have been first page. It was actually the day Cohen got arrested, so kicked me off the first page, but second page of the New York Post is not bad.
Tremendous.
The next day, actually,
unless you're me, 'cause when I'm on the second page of the Post, it's not good. It's not a joyous, happy ending. I can tell you that.
The next day, Ryan Seacrest actually had it on his show, and then from there, it just took on a life of its own. Before you knew it, Jimmy Kimmel was calling, all the shows were calling, and it really just got to a point where the Port Authority, who was ignoring the whole thing to begin with, had to actually take notice and had to respond a little bit.
Now, the Port Authority, for people that don't know, is a bi-state agency created by Congress. New York and New Jersey got together. They control this agency, and they administer all the tunnels that connect New York, or the bridges that connect New York and New Jersey. So you have this petition. You launched this big petition on change.org urging the Christmas tree to be moved to the A. And then ultimately, did the Port Authority bow to the popular will?
We had to go talk to the Port Authority, which was comical in itself. We won. They actually put a poll and they had to respond. There was a public vote. The public voted. Picked the worst one you could pick, in my opinion. They did change it, and looked kind of terrible after.
So they moved the tree to the A.
It looks better.
No, wait.
Better.
So they moved the tree to the A, which is great. But then look at the whole right side.
It looks like they
tunnel.
didn't finish.
Yeah. No. So now this year, do we know for a fact what the Port Authority is doing?
No, and that's what's going to make this interesting. So last year they said they're going to have like a vote, so the public can vote what they want up there. Nothing's happened yet. They usually decorate it roughly around Thanksgiving.
So we got to do something. We got to do something about this right now.
Figure out what's going to happen.
We're going to take matters into our own hands because they could potentially make the same mistake again.
They could the same thing up. They can go back. I can't see them going back to the original, right? That would just be a nightmare.
What do you must have?
Yeah,
you must have
are you
like
making an
your own
endorsement?
master plan, like a Robert Moses type thing. What would you like to see there?
So last year, a lot of companies actually backed me, which was kind of crazy.
Right?
Budweiser was one of them. Walmart was one of them. Dorco Razors was one of them.
This year, we're trying to get you Question Tequila to back you.
Yeah.
And Walmart actually offered on Twitter, whether they're serious or not, it could have been a goof, who knows, but they offered to do the whole thing themselves, and it looked kind of awesome. But they actually put a Walmart symbol in the O.
Oh, you can't do that.
So it was going to be one of those
we
things.
can't let Walmart sponsor the Holland Tunnel.
Yeah. So who knows what's going to happen? But it's going to be interesting in about 2 weeks after Thanksgiving.
Now, everybody is watching, both in the Port Authority, and we have a lot of viewers in the Port Authority, and in the public at large. What endorsement are you making for what the Holland Tunnel design should be?
I'm saying tear up and start from the beginning. Start
The
from
whole
scratch.
tunnel?
No. Just
the
the decoration.
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 Calm down.
Decoration.
Sounds like a bigger
First
lift
of all,
than,
that whether you like the new ones or not, those lights were 20-some odd years old. We found out last year. It was the same thing.
We need
Let's-
LEDs
let's
right
change
away.
it
We
up
need
a little
LEDs.
bit,
We gotta go.
do something.
We gotta
new.
go green.
They could have a lot more than 3 letters too. That's a long sign.
Right.
They only
They
put 3
outline
things in
the
there.
whole
Let's-
thing.
let's-
like
that's what I
each
said.
letter,
Yeah.
like, you know, like
All right,
nice.
so give us the Cory Windelspecht endorsement of what you want.
I would have an outline in every letter, and then to keep a throwback over the A and over the N, have those flashing with some bulbs, just as a little throwback to say, hey, this is what got us here.
So does the tree stay over the A?
Tree stays over the A.
Can they
Tree
get
stays
a
over
fatter
the-
tree so that it's like?
Oh, yeah, that's the
you
thing,
know what
too.
I mean?
They make it fit a little
like
better.
If they got like a fatter tree, it would fit in the A perfectly.
Are
It
you
would
calling
look
for a
nice.
fatter tree as well, Cory?
Right now, we didn't call for anything because we're going to see what they actually have done.
No,
so.
but I think people, as a leader in this movement, you owe it to the public
Yeah.
to provide some direction.
Can you help us?
They should
Because-
actually fill in all those letters. I mean, they're not hard letters to fill in, let's be honest. They already had the hardest ones they had done already.
Wait, so we use the wreath for the O. We use the wreath for the U. We use
We
the
can cut the top right off that and make it an actual U, so it's not tunnel.
right. So a cut-off wreath.
Yeah.
You're going to use a cut-off wreath.
A wreath is this, cut the top off, so it's just
All
a
right.
U.
And so the A stays as is. The O stays
The A
as
stays
is.
in the picture.
Yeah.
Right.
Whoever got the O nailed it.
Yeah.
O was great. Everything else.
It's just a circle. So you're calling for the U to be a cut-off wreath,
Yes.
and the other letters to be highlighted with what?
Highlighted.
Garland?
How
You
about
can-
like this?
Yes.
Like we wrap them with the nice big red bulbs. Does that look okay?
They got the ropes. You can go
I
right
don't know if
around
you
it with
can
the
see that.
rope
Can you see
lights.
that?
They can make it look
That's
great
what we're
coming
gonna
in.
go with.
Rope
Okay,
lights
that's what we're
around
gonna
all
go
the
with.
letters.
Yeah,
Cory, are you down with this?
It looks beautiful.
The nice
Tell me
big
it doesn't
red
look beautiful.
bulbs.
Well, I mean, it looks okay.
It's the entrance
Yeah,
to the greatest city in the world, and we had what we had last year.
Looks
I mean,
like the
come on.
scribblings of a madman on a white piece of paper.
Yeah, and what are we
it's
doing
that
here?
too, but I was just trying to give you a concept. You know,
So, Cory, is there a danger, though, if we do the Windelspecht tobacco method of having all the letters lit and decorated, that could provide a visual obstruction for drivers?
oh come on.
I got to agree with
Come on.
John on this one. I mean, what's more, a distraction than a letter misplaced over another letter?
I agree. I
Yes,
supported
sir.
you on that. I was
You know
all
how
for
many
that.
accidents I almost got in taking pictures of it last year?
Now, the reason I was so eager
You
to
know how
have
many
you
people
on,
are texting while they're driving through that thing anyway? They're not
but
even looking at
the
it.
reason I was so eager to have you on is because your leadership on this issue is really inspirational around the country, because it really sends the message to people that have tried to come up against bureaucracy time and time again that yes, you actually can fight City Hall, and as long as you get the masses on your side, you can move an immovable bureaucracy like the Port Authority to do what's right, or at least in this case, give the people the power to vote on what they want.
And that was a fight in itself. But like I
Exactly.
said, if you get enough support behind you, they do listen. And like I said, at the end of the day, Port Authority, they treated me fairly at the end. They didn't want to listen to me, but they thought I was a madman. And quite possibly, maybe I am. Who
Why don't
knows?
I have our design team make a little spec of how it would look fully lit with lights around it, with the O and the A where you want
We
it?
should have our own contest. The we could pick and then submit our own.
I like
let's
it.
do that.
I like it,
that.
but-
Well, let's do a liquid lunch contest, and Cory will be the chairman of the.
But you know what it is,
of the
Cory?
contest.
You're almost like George Washington, right? It's like George Washington was the president of the Constitutional Convention.
Yeah.
There was no doubt that he would be president if he wanted to be president when the country started. You're the George Washington of the Holland Tunnel Christmas decorations. You're the one that saved us from that A over the. Can we see the old design one more time? That idiotic A over the N as it was. And I think people are going to follow your direction to make sure that we don't have a blight
Right.
like this
Oh,
again.
God.
The man that rescued us from this.
I get ADD just looking at it
Yeah,
right now.
it's
you know?
terrible. I'm triggered. But Cory, do you think? I know people are going to be raising the question.
Twitch.
Is there any issue of separation of church and state by having Christmas decorations on a
But
secular
that's what the
thing
big
like
thing
this?
was last year. Is like, what do they do to make everybody happy? And in this PC world we live in, who knows? I mean, anything they put up
How
is
about a
gonna
crucifix
get,
over the
Yeah,
tree,
anything
right?
that guy put up now is going to get complaints. So it's just going to be kind of.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Like a Star of David. somewhere in there.
We could try
You
to
know
hit
what I mean?
every culture on every letter. So
Or we can make the L's like the 2 candles on a menorah, you know, for the Jewish folk.
That's an idea.
I mean, you know, I'm getting out of my lane. We have George Washington here.
Exactly.
I'm going to just do what he says. But
should be an
It's
interesting.
like Elbridge Gerry trying to give constitutional advice to George Washington.
It should be an interesting 2 weeks. See what they come up with.
That
so
it should
it's
be.
going to be.
Well, we're
it's going to
with
be
you.
fun to watch.
Have you
We're
given
with
any
you.
thought to what your next cause is going to be? You don't have to tell us now, but have you given any thought?
So believe it or not, the response we've gotten on Twitter and the response I've gotten on Instagram for different things that have been out there have been, you know, some of them are crazy, some of them are actually pretty cool. So who knows what the future holds?
Well, you got to come here and announce it.
I would
when
appreciate
you're
that,
back.
man. I appreciate you having us on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cory Windelspecht.
An American hero right here.
American hero.
Not all heroes wear
He
capes.
saved those of us who care about Christmas decorations improperly placed on tunnels from a tremendous amount of mental anguish. And we're going to create some more mental anguish for you right after this.